I know you've seen this image before. Have you ever asked yourself, what is it? And to even get deeper, have you ever asked yourself, does it have anything to do with this? Nefertiti. That's why Nefertiti used to wear that doggone crown. She was covering up that doggone dome, or what I would call a cone. Do you think this is worth talking about? You do? Well, you know how this goes. Ayo, peace. This is your man, L. Judge, coming right back at you with some of that real talk real fast. Now, if you can, make sure you hit like, leave a comment, hit repost. It helps your boy out. Now, this right here, from what I understand, and believe me, I can only give you the information of the things that I have studied over the years and the stories that I have encountered and the things that I have placed on the scale. I know not anything. But now let's go back to this thing, the matter at hand. This right here, from what I understand, they called it a Draconian. They said that it came from the constellation of Dracos. They said that this being came here to this place that we call our realm of existence, that we call Earth. That's the best way I can say that, to keep people from arguing over nothing. Now, the story is that when they got here, they landed in a place called Atlantis. Now, when we are talking about Atlantis, what are we truly talking about? Because Atlantis was a way of life, and Atlantis, and the people who lived the way of Atlantis, they marked their territory with this. Pyramids. If you notice, those pyramids, if you look at them, they look like the letter A, a capital A. All of the places where these pyramids are, they start with an A. They exist on all 6 continents, and each continent starts with an A. Now, I know some of you smarty art cats, you're like, it's 7 continents. No, there's not 7 continents. There's only 6 continents. The place that you call Europe, it is a peninsula of Asia. Europe is an egotistical created fiction to represent the Western civilization. The name of Europe goes all the way back to Phoenicia. The original Phoenicians, the ones who sailed and the ones who had the purple dye, was famous for that. They were originally people who looked like, I ain't even got to say. But any place that had these doggone pyramids right here, you had Africa, you had Asia, you had North America, South America, you had Antarctica, and you had Australia. These are the places that are labeled and stamped with the Atlantean way of existence, these pyramids. And now that takes us back to this. Now, as I said, they say that these things came from the constellation of Dracos. They said that they were known as Draconians. They said that these things were somewhat reptilian in nature. This is what they said. I don't know if any of this is true. Now, these beings, they came to this place here, and they landed in an area that we call the heart of Atlantis, or what you would imagine as Atlantis. Let's see if this helps. Okay, this is a fictional map, but maybe it helps us figure some certain things out. Now, they said that these doggone Draconians, they came to Atlantis. And they said when they got there, they hit the heart chakra of this whole area. This was like this place that they called Atlantis. They said it's set on a large grid, and it was real powerful. So when they got there, they noticed that the people there were spiritually advanced. Spirituality was their technology, put it that way. But they were a real agreeable people. They played around like children. They were just living a happy life. So they got there, so the Draconians, they got there and they figured that they were going to overtake these doggone people. But it was too many of them. Now, so as time went by, they tried it again, and it was like, look here, we're going to shut you down. Either you get with us or you get away from us. So they was like, you know what, we wanted some of this doggone energy here. So they figured out a way to coincide with the doggone Atlanteans. They did the best that they could. So as time went by, being that those Draconians, they had advanced technology, they was able to see an object coming in the sky. And they noticed that it was something big coming to the planet. And they said that, hey, they went to the high council of the doggone, they went to the government of the Atlanteans, and they were like, you know what, there's a large object coming here, and it looked like it's going to do some damage, and it looked like it's going to hit our region right here. So they said, now we have the technology, we can blow this thing out the doggone sky, and it won't do so much damage. But the high council of the Atlanteans, they were like, man, you know what, if you do that, it'll break up into different pieces, and it may hurt some other people, and it'll be our fault. They said that we're just going to let the laws of existence take care of that. And it occurred. The thing hit, and they said that it hit the doggone main part of Atlantis, or right off the coast of it, or whatever. And not only did it send a big wave of water, it doggone made those people, it made the water rise up. So the people over here, they had to jump over here to the Americas, to North America, South America. Some of these people landed over here off the coast of America. So this explains that the high technology and the higher vibration of the people in New York and off of this coast right here. Some of them landed up in Canada. Some of them had to jump over here to Africa, and some of them jumped down here to South America. Now, if you think about it, right over here by the Bermuda Triangle, they say that there's a doggone crystal pyramid up under the water. And right here on the arm part of Florida, right off of the doggone coast of that arm part, they're starting to find remnants of doggone civilization up under the doggone water. So something definitely did happen. This weighs pretty real good on the doggone scale. That's the best way I could say that. Hey, right when I was getting ready to switch this over, I got a phone call from Florida. Well, let's jump around, man, because I don't have too many minutes left. Now, this right here, this is Nefertiti, and Nefertiti, she had children, and some of her children had this same skull right here. Now, like I said, those Draconians, they were reptilian in nature, and they had them long skulls, and they wanted to fit in. So they went to all the different governments in Asia, Americas, South America, Africa. They went to all of the different governments, and they were like, you know what? We still have this doggone technology. I tell you what, if you give us some of your women, we will give you some of the technology. The reason why they wanted some of the women, because they figured out, man, you know what, this thing here has this cone head has become a label or a marker. We need to be able to fit in with the rest of these people if we're going to be able to take over. So they started to mate, and they started to reform themselves, put it that way. Now, this is Nefertiti. What does Nefertiti mean? It means the coming of the beautiful one. She is known as the beautiful one. This is why they put her in a high-ranking position. But like I said, she had to cover that skull. Now, this is a bloodline. You don't believe me? Look at this. Man, that was Florida calling me again. But look at the skull right here. And he has the crown of royalty on. But you can still see that long skull. Look. This was a bloodline. Now let me show you one of the skulls that they found in the area. These are the skulls found in South America. Now I know some of you smarty art cats, you're gonna be like, well, they used to just wrap their heads up, and then stretch the skull. That's how the skulls ended up that way. Man, this is bone. The skull is bone. It's not silly putty. Yes, you could probably put a band on it and stretch it up, make it stretch a little bit, or make it expand a little bit, but then your head is going to be shaped like a peanut, curved in like that. That's not like that. And then you would need something literally to put on the skull and to stretch it. You would need a device. No. Now let me tell you something else. You can't get these images anymore. But they used to have images of these things, of skulls, where they had teeth like this. Looking like that thing on the movie Predator. That thing on the movie Predator, it was part reptilian as well. But anyway, this is your man, L. Judge. Entertainment purposes only. Entertainment. I'm out.